Duke of Kent is there, of course, as well, accompanying the Queen, as he does very often. He's Colonel of the Scots Guards. But I think once the crowd realises that Her Majesty's there, they'll go slightly mad. But, they're probably slightly distracted as well by the sight of the guards going past. So, Katie, what did you make of this as the opening event?
Well, it just doesn't get any better. I mean, there's a reason why millions of you are turning in to BBC to watch this, because no one else, frankly, does pomp and pageantry like our armed forces. And as the head of the armed forces, this is an important moment for the Queen. The ceremony was 260 years old. Trooping with Colours marked the official birthday of the British sovereign for that many years. It's a very special occasion, and I don't think we will ever see a pageant trooping of the colour ever again. So this is a moment to remember.
So the Household Cavalry returning, and Her Majesty, as ever, having a very, very close look. This is the inspection of the returning troops. Duke of Kent saluting, Colonel of the Scots Guards. And what we see, Jamie, is a monarch with an expert eye for the good things and, if there are any, slip-ups.
Yes, this is probably the most profound moment of the Queen's birthday parade. Normally it happens on horse guards, but it's when the guardsmen and the troopers of the Household Cavalry get to look their monarch in the eye, and vice versa. I remember when I was on parade, forget any smiles, this was a proper inspection, and she was looking for all the details, which she knows better than anybody.
But no better day for it, because it's clear, it's sunny, colours are dazzling, the detail is remarkable. Blues and Royals making their way past for the inspection, past the great memorial to Queen Victoria. Dark blue tunics and the red plumes. Their colonel, of course, is the Princess Royal, who is riding in the procession. Celebrated her birthday, her 96th birthday back in April. Today is the official birthday of the sovereign, and who decided that it might be better not to make the journey up to Horse Guards today, but to stay at the palace and to inspect the troops in this way. More comfortable for her, and we'll all understand that. And of course, there will be that appearance with the working members of the royal family. That's important, Katie, isn't it? Because it won't be just anyone turning up on the balcony today. It's clearly defined. It's those who are working members of the family.
Yes, absolutely. That balcony appearance is always incredibly important. You can read as much, I think, into who is on the balcony as to who is not. But we know that there will be 17 members of the family alongside the Queen, and they will be working members of the royal family. I think that's also an opportunity, Hugh, for the Queen to thank those that she calls her substitutes, for being out there day in and day out, working tirelessly for Her Majesty the Queen, flying the flag of Britain, not just here in the United Kingdom, but around the world.
The drum majors leading the bands counterclockwise direction this time around that Queen Victoria Memorial. The Queen ready once again to inspect them as they march past. Bands first, and then the guards who took part in the birthday parade itself, led of course by the Irish Guards. We'll be seeing a lot of this set out, Katie, in the next few days, won't we? Because we have that concert on Saturday, we have other events as well. Today, by the way, the Royal British Legion arranged tickets for lots of people, deserving members of the public, to come along and sit in these stands, which are not normally there, of course. So they've had a great vantage point for this last hour of the parade, and they'll get a bird's eye view of the flight past.
Well, they will, and it's wonderful. There's seating there, and you're going to see the Mall fill up in the most spectacular way. And obviously, this is the central focal point of these Platinum Jubilee celebrations. It's also worth pointing out the first time we've seen the Queen at Buckingham Palace for a couple of years now, since before the COVID pandemic. So very special to see her back at Monarchy HQ, Buckingham Palace, resplendent in this wonderful spring sunshine. Thank goodness the sun is shining.
I have to say, Jamie, I am fascinated. There's a long conversation going on between the Queen and the Duke of Kent. They're obviously comparing notes and pointing to this section of the Guards and that section, and I'd love to know what they say.
So would I, and I think the Guardsmen, if they see the pointing going on, will be sixes and sevens about whether to be pleased they're being pointed at or not.
Prince of Wales leading the royal party back into Buckingham Palace, through the archway, into the central section of Buckingham Palace, before they reappear upstairs on that balcony in a short while. This is the moment you were talking about earlier, Jamie, and applying it again to the foot guards, that moment of eye contact, although it's more distant today than it would be on the parade ground, but it's still there.
It's more distant, but in a way, it's unique. And the Guardsmen will be thinking that. They'll be seeing they're wearing her St. Patrick's blue, which is so apt and brilliant of it all.
The non-royal colonels saluting as well, saluting Her Majesty. Duke of Kent, who would normally ride in the carriage, we have seen him with the Queen, certainly since the late Duke of Edinburgh stopped attending public events some years before his death. The Duke of Kent is a very prominent participator in these great state events. Visible sign of the changing of the guard in the forecourt of Buckingham Palace. Her Majesty has returned inside, but we will see her again, fear not. And maybe a good moment, Jamie, as we see the changing of the guard, just to explain very quickly that the escort has some work to do.
It does. It hasn't finished yet for the escort. They now go on to Queen's Guard, as it's called, at Buckingham Palace and at St James's Palace, taking over from the old guard, which was drawn from the Coldstream Guards, as you can see. They've got a few more hours of duty left.
members of the escort who are now going to be on guard in Buckingham Palace and St James's Palace, from Coldstream to Irish Guards. So as the guard is changed, we're mindful, of course, of the fact that there are lots of people around who are now getting quite excited about the prospect of the fly past in a short while. And just outside Buckingham Palace, just the other side of the railings, I know that JJ Chalmers is there, and I think JJ is with a special guest there, so let's join.